So last month, I went from peaking 6 hours of screen time to now peaking 3 hours of screen time. I started reducing my screen time months ago, but my phone only tracks up to last month, so basically, there's really only two things to work on: your mindset and your environment. This really isn't an in-order step-by-step guide, so you can work on each simultaneously or you can do both, which will be much better. A lot of people will say, oh, I'm gonna delete all of it, bro, like I'm gonna finally quit social media. And then they'll fight it for a week, and before they know it, they're back to scrolling for 10 hours a day. The reason why you get back to doom scrolling after a week is because you don't recognize the weight of what you're giving up. You don't realize what you're losing and if you're even ready to lose it in the first place. You're giving up your escape. You're giving up instant gratification. You're giving up entertainment right at your fingertips. And unless you're willing to give this up, you won't be successful in finally quitting social media or video games. Part of the reason why you can't give it up is because it's your escape. When you're starting to quit social media, on one hand, boredom is getting to you, and on the other hand, when things go to shit, you lose your one and only escape. And so you have to consider this even before deciding to quit social media or video games. Are you willing to live life without an escape? So how do you even live life without escaping to instant gratification all the time? Well, you have to realize that your life right now is shit for you. And instead of running away from it, don't avoid it. Actually take some small steps towards living a life that's worth living. It's scary, I know, but it's what needs to be done. It might mean sacrificing all the video games and all social media, but I have high hopes for you, bro, and you'll be fine. So obviously, don't take your phone to bed. But you might say, oh, I need it for an alarm. Get a really loud alarm tone and then put it far away from you before sleeping. That way you can also get up easily when you wake up. Solved. So this is the hard part. Delete all social media apps and video games that you have. If you need to use IG for important messages, then just use the browser version of it. Delete the app and use the browser version of it. Here's the fun part. You still can engage in social media, you just have to use the browser version of it. And while you're there, use this social focus extension. That way you can make it less stimulating. For example, when I use YouTube, I have the thumbnails removed, and when I watch the videos, I have the recommendations removed too. And so you can just do these things to make your phone work with you and not against you. And so that also means making your smartphone a Dumbphone. You can look up how to do this. There's many tutorials on YouTube, but here's what it looks like. And so in my home screen, I just have the time, my battery, my date, and then 4 apps that I use almost always every day. All my other apps, you can look it up here, and then you can search for it. But I have everything deleted. You can see I don't have Instagram here. I don't have Facebook. And if I have them installed, they're most likely blocked, like you can see here. So with this setup and using every social media on the browser version, I recommend Firefox because there's extensions you can use there to make it less stimulating. That's how you make a smartphone into a Dumbphone. See, the reason why you use social media for escapism is because you don't have a life worth living. And so you go to the virtual world to escape the real one which you have to live. So build a life that's worth living. Start with physical fitness, or mental health, or studying, or art, or learn to play an instrument. Things like this. Look for anything here on my channel. Start asking around about some things that you want to improve or start on. And when you finally build a life that's worth living, that's when you can finally quit because you don't need social media or video games for an escape. These are pretty much the two things that matter the most on reducing your screen time. Your mindset and your environment. You actually have to know to yourself that you're willing to sacrifice video games and social media before even deciding to quit. And because chances are you don't. And when you actually are not willing to give up social media or video games, you'd go far as 2 weeks and then you'd get kick back to where you were from. The next thing is, after you change your mindset, you can change the thing outside of you and tailor them so that they do work for you and not against you. And so instead of your phone controlling you, you control your phone. And so I hope this helps, and do me a favor, live